everybody, welcome back to the channel. Looks like we got a lot of new subscribers. I really appreciate that. For those of you who are new, let me just kind of recap a little bit about what this channel is in terms of who I am and what am I doing? I had an opportunity to spend a year away from the United States before I retire. So I'm using this as an exploratory year, and I wanted to use Phnom Penh as a base for a bunch of reasons. One of the main reasons, which is what I'm going to talk about in a minute here, is that the retirement visa is so easy to get, and it just made sense to come here, a place where I could get a retirement visa very easily, and then explore other places in the area. This isn't really a budget channel. I did the walkthrough of the apartment, but it was more of just to kind of show you what you could get at a particular price point in a particular neighborhood in Phnom Penh. And the reason I wanted to post that, it wasn't to say, hey, look at what a great deal you could get. It's really more for what I was looking for when I was back in the United States, just kind of searching different places, whether it was Chiang Mai, and I've been to Chiang Mai multiple times, or Vietnam, or the Philippines. It just, I do like to look at apartment videos and just kind of get a sense of like, what do they look like? How big can you get an apartment? Because I know in some places it's hard to get a large apartment, and I know some people were giving me shit about the size of the apartment. Like, you don't need that. You need, like, it'd be better to have a studio apartment, or you've got too much space or whatever. And it's like, this is what I wanted. So sorry folks. I've lived in studio apartments when I was younger. I lived in a camping trailer for 6 months. Tiny spaces drive me crazy. And I use all of the space here. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. It's not a budget video, or it's not a budget channel, I should say. And the reason I'm in Phnom Penh is specifically because I wanted to be in Phnom Penh. Phnom Penh is one of the places that I am looking at, considering, and kind of weighing. And then probably for the next 6 months, the second 6 months, which will begin probably in March or April, I'm not sure. I may go to Siem Reap for those 6 months, but that's to be determined. And I'll be doing a lot more traveling starting in January. But essentially, I had this year that I'm using as an exploratory year. I have to go back to the United States. I don't have a specific time I have to be back, but I'll probably be back there in October. And then after that, I have to be in the United States for about 16 months, during which time I have to kind of wrap up a lot of different things. Then I can make it official, and hopefully know where exactly it is that I want to live. So this channel is just kind of taking you through the process of what I'm going through, because a lot of the channels that I see are budget channels, or they are people who've already settled in a country, and I just wanted to do something that was kind of ongoing, where I haven't actually settled yet. I am living here right now, but I'm just kind of exploring different options, and also just kind of the nuts and bolts of things I have to go through to make this possible. One of the main reasons I decided to spend the year in Cambodia and to use this as a base was because of the ease of the retirement visa. Like I said, I've spent a lot of time in Thailand. Thailand is still pretty high on my list in terms of a place to retire, but it didn't make any sense for me to spend a year there under the various kinds of visas that they have, and for what I want to do, which is kind of using a place as a base and then traveling a lot. When I looked at everything, when I looked at the different options that I had, Cambodia really kind of stood out for me for that. If you haven't been here and you haven't been through the process, it really couldn't be easier. When you enter the country, you enter on an e-visa, and the e-visa you can do online before you could do it at the airport, but I did it ahead of time, and I did it online. It was super easy to get. It made everything so much easier once I got to the airport. Now, there were glitches at the airport because I was here It was either the day that the new airport opened or the second day. I kind of lost track of time traveling. It may have been the second day. So things were like still a little rough. Like there were still some things that needed working out, but it was infinitely easier than somebody who was trying to do it at the airport. From what I could tell, I didn't have to wait in any lines. I was just kind of ushered through. And so that visa is good for a month, and probably, I don't know, it was maybe like my second week, or maybe, yeah, probably about my second week, that I decided to convert that to a retirement visa, which is really, it's called an ER visa. I had an option of going to immigration and doing it, or getting an agent. And everything I read about going through an agent just seemed like it was so much easier, because I did talk to somebody who goes to immigration and does it, and he was just kind of telling me, it's like, well, make sure that you have this and make sure you have that. He's like, oh, it's really easy. So I trust that it's really easy, but also I just thought, like, well, going to an agent just seemed so much simpler. So I looked online, I found which agents had the most reviews and the most positive reviews. I picked one of those and set up an appointment through WhatsApp. And really all I did was, here's what I brought. And here's probably all I needed was my passport and some passport photos. I did bring the lease to my apartment. And I think that's why I waited to go, was, kind of like running out the clock on the first visa. The entry visa. But also, I just wanted to make sure, I wasn't positive if having a hotel would be enough, so I had the lease to the apartment. And I think she just kind of glanced at that. But anyways, I get there, took a tuk-tuk there. I think I was there for like 10 minutes. She looked at my visa. She saw that I was over 55. She asked me during the WhatsApp conversation how old I was. I'm 60, so, I was 59, then I just turned 60, so I met that criteria. And that really seemed to be the biggest thing, was just making sure that I was over 55 to get the ER visa. And other than that, it was about, I want to say, it wasn't quite $300, it might have been like $280 or $290. Paid for that, and she took my passport, which is maybe the only kind of nerve-wracking part of the process. As for the passport photos, I found a place that was maybe like a block away from where I'm living. Super cheap. I don't even know how much it was. It may have been like $1, $2 for like a whole stack of passport photos. So super cheap. I gave her one of those, one or two, I can't remember. And that was it. And then I waited, I think it was 5 business days. And she told me which day I would probably get it back. And then she sent me a WhatsApp message when it was ready. Instead of me going to pick it up, I think it was a very, very small fee of maybe, I don't know, a couple of dollars, that somebody brought it to me, the passport. And yeah, I was just having coffee outside my apartment when I got an alert from WhatsApp saying that it was on the way. So that was it. That was the entire process. Couldn't have been easier. $300 in and out of there, perfect. So that's what I was looking for in terms of just the ease of staying in a particular place for a year. I didn't want a headache. I didn't want to have to do a lot of check-ins or anything like that. I didn't want to have to renew the visa after 6 months, or I didn't want to do a border run after 3 months. I just wanted a place that I could be for a year and not really think about it, and be able to have that visa has a multi-entry component, so I could come and go as I please during the year. So, all right, thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. It's just a short video to talk about. Again, not I want to make this clear. It's not recommending that you go through an agent. If you want to save money and do it directly, do that. I'm just talking about my experience and why I chose to come here, and why it makes sense to me. It made sense to me before I came here. It makes sense to me now. And the ease of the process, which for me, anything that makes my life easier in the sense that I don't have to fill out paperwork or I don't have to go through red tape, if it's not that much money, it's worth it to me. All right, see you on the next video. Happy Thanksgiving.